What's happening, people, and welcome back to Wise Up TV. We've got all-you-can-eat Warriors. Oh no, 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 no! Oh no, no,
Sing a yi yippee yippee yi. Sing a
no!
yi yippee yippee yi. Sing a yi yippee yippee
Oh
yi
my
yippee
goodness!
yippee
Look at that! Look at these guys, bro. Straight
Let's
off the
go.
bat. They didn't let me forget this one straight up, but humble pie in here, man. Congratulations to my man Ash. Far out,
Let's
comeback
go.
kings as always. Absolutely gutted, but I gotta give it to my brothers right here, Josh and Ash, bro. Chris, quickly, boys, how does it feel to get that series in the fashion you guys did, mate? How you guys feeling? Ash, how about you, bro?
Honestly, I say it every time. There's nothing better than when the first game gets over and done with, and there's the dynasty discussions getting talked about, the clean sweep discussions getting spoken about. And it happens all the time, right? It's the same story that happens again and again and again. That Queensland spirit, it's something. Honestly, bro, it's a big thing. When I'm growing up, little boy, Queenslander boy, right? Born and bred. When my dad always told me there's a football team out there that no matter what, if they're behind on anything, they'll always come back and they'll always finish hard, or they'll always play with effort. And no matter what, they never do me wrong there. So, very, very happy.
Nice, nice. And Josh, how's it feel, bro?
Never in doubt, eh? Never in doubt. The whole series, false sense of security.
Oh man,
Absolutely, it's the Queenslander way. It's Billy the Bush Poet, back again. he's sprinkling in the Queensland spirit, sprinkling in his little, chat back to Aaron Woods, and we go through like Ash said, Queensland born and bred, definitely. Queensland in West Auckland.
yeah, Queensland, West Auckland.
That's in Queensland.
But no, it was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. And then obviously, we had to let Daly, go back and apply his trade in club. Hopefully he can, work his way into
Daly is the biggest joke, bro. I swear. I don't even want to get into this, but congratulations, brothers. Well deserved. We live to see another year, and it all starts again. But good stuff, man. Welcome in everyone after a massive weekend. Shout out to everyone in the chat, channel members, moderators, and 53 of you guys in here. Hit the like and subscribe while we're here before we get started. But just quickly, guys, we are running a draw again for 2 more tickets, and it is this tonight is actually #WTV. So if you want a ticket to the meet and greet, I just went to the venue on Saturday. I was up in Auckland. Love it, man. It's going to be cool up there at Lily Worlds. And I got my MC on tonight. Actually, he's gonna be MCing for us right here. My man Josh Hill. Ash is going to be flying over. So if you want a ticket, you still want to come hang out with us, chuck #WTV in there. Okay, we'll see. Definitely do the draw later on tonight. Okay, guys, far out. There's a lot to cover right now, but want to get your guys' thoughts on this, your post-match thoughts from the game. But the Warriors, we bounced back. And I surprisingly heard a stat that we hadn't won a game since June 10th because of, we lost the 2 games and we had the buys in between them.
Yep.
It's like, wow, it's okay. It seemed a long time and you can get a bit rusty. But check this one at you, Josh, man. What was your thoughts on the game and the overall performance of the team to get the dub against the Tigers?
Yeah, man, it could have been a season-defining performance, eh? We'd just come off the back of 2 losses in a really, really tough bye period. We'd lost Mitch Barnett not too long ago, and then we lost, Luke Metcalf in that period as well. And coming out of byes this year, we've been awful. Is the word I would use. But I think they really use this bye period as like a reset and re-push for the rest of the season. And you can see with the way that we, came out, obviously, after that first try that the Tigers scored, the way we just backed up exactly what we've been doing all year, and we just kind of like reset our focus back to this is how we play, and this is what we do as Warriors football. And it was just, pushing and almost like a snake, kind of just like wrapping around its prey, tightening and tightening and tightening until we could just run over and do what we wanted to do. So for me, like I was saying to you guys just before, I never felt worried in this game, even when they scored first. Like there was no worry because I was like, we are looking the goods, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, no, it's that feeling, it when you're watching a game of rugby league, like, there's a calm sense of what's happening on the field, and I suppose we'll get to that talking point. But Ash, how was your overall view of the game? A lot will probably, be critical or maybe saying, it's the Tigers anyway, but still for us to get the 2 points in a professional manner, what do you think was the culmination of that performance on Sunday?
Yeah, I think that overall, like, we definitely had a point to prove, right? I think coming into this game, Tigers bouncing, off of the Roosters that, pretty much had nobody going up against them. So, sometimes, when you look at a team on paper too, Jerome Luai comes back into the fold for the Tigers. They pushed Adam Dewey to a new sort of role mid-game there. They had Latu Fainu that everyone's, absolutely loving and for good like reason too, like a very good young half coming up through the system. They got players across the board that can do damage on their day. But, Api Coruscant is another one of those guys that end up causing a couple of errors from our boys in the middle and did a great job trying to hold the Tigers into the contest. But I was very similar to Josh. Like throughout this whole game, I was kind of sitting back and just letting us get through our work, our system. And I just had trust and full trust in the boys and how they're going about their business. Having Tanner kind of direct the ship, and we will touch on more about Tanner's game and how he, pretty much stepped in and played his own game, which, in some ways definitely suited us as a football side out there. And there will be discussions on that in the future as well. But it wasn't just him in general. I think it was just across the board. The boys just took another step into a new level. We had players that, probably had their best games of the season. There's other players there that hit those levels that they continue to hit week in, week out. And it culminated to a very dominant victory over a Tiger squad that, as you said, albeit close to the bottom of the ladder, dealing with a lot of media scrutiny at the moment around a club, but still a team on their day that can definitely worry a lot of sides in this competition as well. And this is a game that a lot of people stereotypically would have said the Warriors would have lost in times too, especially with the amount of pressure that we had on us going 2 losses in a trot after a bye. It's great to see the boys bounce back in such dominant fashion. As Josh said, it was legit like watching, us just strangle out their competition. Their middles were getting toasted. Samuel Afanu was all about out at sea at that one moment there too, in this game where he just, honestly, he looked like he was fatigued all the way out. I'm not too sure the injury on him. I'm pretty sure he had an injury late in this game, but when we just started to keep running, Maratini Kore one-on-one on Jerome Luai, I thought, overall, great game, and there's so much to talk about with this game, so I won't hold us up too long on just this little quick thought, but very, very good performance. I'm very, very proud of the boys.
Yeah. Were you guys surprised, like, I don't know. I felt like we dominated May and Paulie, and maybe I was expecting more from them. But I was like, whoa, we really handed it to them. Do you put that to Jackson Ford or to, moving Marata back out to the edge? Like, what was the key to us kind of dominating that middle?
Do you know who was the key for me? And again, I want to thank this guy for ruining my super coach for the week as well, because I had Terrell May as a captain just because he averages about 80 on a good game, and he's only dipped under 70 one time this season. This is the second time he's dipped under 60, against our Warriors squad that actually held Payne Haas to under a 60 score as well in Supercoach. Any Supercoaches out there? Yeah. Everyone knows that's 2 big ones there for our middle forwards. We nullified both those big boys there. So I think Aaron Clark was a big key for that. Every time I noticed Aaron Clark getting put on the field, he was chasing Terrell May in every contest. I've seen Terrell May get dumped on his back, and everyone knows my thoughts around Terrell May and this and that, right? But I thought the boys did very, very good to nullify him. I was a little bit more worried of Fanua Bolle with his explosive running, and I thought we nullified that really well as well. He got a couple of errors in his game. So I thought that Aaron Clark was a big one for us in this period there too. And it was also maybe Maratini Kore getting pushed back to his more natural position is what we're still fighting on, whether he is a middle forward, whether he is an edge back rower. You know, looking at it now, edge back row is looking very, very sturdy for him in that position currently, and it's just building our ruck momentum in the middle of how we're holding up the ruck and winning the ruck in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I was just talking to Ash, Josh, about we dominated their middles, and maybe just no, you're good. And tying in the maybe even Liquor, I thought one of his best games, just work rate wise, and Marata as well. What was your thoughts? We're just obviously a better forward pack, or what do you make of the forward battle? Because we seem to dominate quite well.
Yeah, I thought I've always thought our middles are probably like, you know, the top 3 or 4 in the comp, and it shows with the way we defend and the way we, you know, have effort on effort all the time. I thought that obviously, you know, Aaron and Fish, fantastic, but I loved the impact that Ford brought as well. He was on for so long, if not the whole game.
Yeah.
Like I, you know, couldn't quite see, but he was on for, you know, such a long time, and effort after effort after effort. He was just there. He was, you know, making tackles everywhere. Even Wade Egan as well. I think he had like 53 tackles or something like that in the game, which is massive. And I, you know, came back when you guys were talking about Marata. Didn't he look fantastic with like a real like playmaking half?
Yeah,
you know, someone there to just put him into the gap. Like he was in maybe 3 or 4 holes just because of like the space that Tanner gives him, and I think he didn't quite work that out with Luke earlier in the season. And obviously he was shifting between the middle and the edge, and like our edges were kind of the one part of the team that we hadn't really figured out. But yeah, to me, I think that Marata really looks at home on the edge now, and I think it may be that that's the way we go, and Lekker's got the other edge, or, you know, Capewell if Ali's back and playing well. Then Capewell goes back to the other side, and we have, you know, Lecker coming off the bench, which, you know, sucks for Jacob Laban, because, you know, he's another one of our guys that are incredible. But when the team is humming as good as this is, like, you know, you've got to be to like top of the top to get into the side, which we haven't really had in the past, you know.
I totally agree with it. A good comment here from channel member Sun Young. Shout out, brother. But the back 5 as well. Want to give them a big shout. And Ash, what was your thoughts on Dell? I just thought he looked very confident. I mean, this is a guy who had kind of what looked like a hip drop, and obviously was, and had that little, but he looked really confident yesterday on Sunday. And the yardage, no doubt, would have looked pretty good finishing. And RTS, I mean, he's just been awesome for me. But what did you make of Dell's kind of improvement? Was it a confidence issue, or was it system working him in a bit better? What do you make of that?
Yeah, possibly. You know, we had this discussion a little while ago of, like, you know, chance and like the meters he gets through, you know, what Roger's going to bring to the team, like whether, not to say like other meters spread out accordingly with Dallin. You know, I think the week preview, he never hit over 100 meters in either of those games in his games back, right? And, you know, Chance was hitting 300 plus. We had Roger hitting close to 300 plus as well on the wing. So there's not a lot of meters out of the back line to getting around. Brody made a good point on down unders, bringing Taine Tuaupiki, and like, you know, I was also like, Taine brings his numbers, but he does it in a different way. And we kind of discussed it on Wise Up TV last week, whether Dallin had to step up with Roger if he was going to be on that wing this week. Would he have to step up and help, you know, accordingly to get, you know, our, to obviously don't want Taine to do very similar things to what CNK does, because he's a different body. And I thought that Dell took that upon himself to go, yep, I want to raise my game up. And it was a little bit more spread out accordingly. Taine still got his 220 meters in this game. But as we kind of touched on before, he did it in a different type of way. He didn't do it through these muscling third tackle hit ups straight through the ruck. He did it like more so off the back of what Dallin and Roger kind of brought into the contest. And he kind of filtered off the back of that, right? It wasn't that first, you know, that bull rush from Chance to start us off, and then Roger off the back of it, and then whatever Dell can kind of get off the back of that. So I thought that was a little bit of play here too. And again, yeah, confidence. I think the more the time he gets under there, you know, having Rocco inside of him, which sucks that Rocco's down again. We'll touch on that a little little bit more later on. But I thought that he looked really at home. That massive line break he had too was a big game changer, a momentum changer in the moment that he had too. So I thought all out classy game from Dalla. It was one of his best. It was his best this season for sure.
Yeah, you share same sentiments, Josh, in terms of that structurally it might have the game plan with Taine kind of opened them up as well. What's your thoughts on? Yeah,
I definitely think so. I think obviously like with Taine, like Ash was saying, you do get a different body to Chance, and you get a different style of play, and I think that almost plays into Dallin's strength in coming in for that, coming in for those carries, and obviously with Chance you're getting carry 1 and carry 3 are him, which is how he goes through and eats through his meters. I think also, which thinking back to the games that Dallin had played before, where he only got 80 meters or 90 meters or whatever it was, they did kick to both sides in this game. So Dallin was receiving a lot more than usual. So I think when he receives and he can get those yardage meters from taking the catch, we see a bit more out of him, and it's strictly because the Tigers are more left side dominant on their kicks because of the way that Luai plays on the left, and that's how they work. So when he was taking these kicks and getting those meters, that gets him into the game more and gets his confidence up. And when he had Rocco inside him, it was getting on the outside. Like when you have that shape and you have that structure that everything else kind of flows back a bit easier as well. Like it's all a bit easier, and that muscle memory kind of kicks in. And so when he's doubling what he's done before, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But so I do think that a lot of his meters were yardage, but again, he just played exactly how we remember him playing in 2023.
Exactly.
Great point. I like that muscle memory. Like things just opened up naturally, which I think is just credit to. You need a good back five in terms of balance. I feel to get everyone needs to get their touches in, because when you can do that, then you got the numbers spread evenly. So I totally agree with you guys. Let's check now to. We're going to look at some individuals, guys, and this one here I think has been a big talking point. Is Tanner Boyd? How are we differentiating names now? Is one Tanner and then the other one Styles Smith? What's your guys' point? Or is it Boyd and Styles Smith? Are we leaving the name Tanner out? What do you guys reckon?
Tenoir, baby. Tenoir.
Tenoir. Okay. So this is Tenoir. I think we're talking about Tenoir. Tenoir's performance. Yes, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. And look, come in with a bit of pressure off of Metcalf, obviously. And Metcalf, up to that, we've talked about it a lot, me and Ash, about just up to the point that he got injured, was on a tear in terms of his overall thing. Now Tenoir comes in with a different approach, a bit more organizing half, you can tell from the performance and kicking game. And it kind of steers the team again in a new kind of flow and direction. Ash, what did you make of his performance, and what is the impact of his performance moving forward on? Do you think he can maintain this and carry this through into potential finals run?
Yeah, I think the best thing that I've heard it thrown around the last couple of weeks from a couple of different podcasts as well, that kind of adds on to my point here. He came in playing Tanner Boyd football and not playing Luke Metcalf football, and I think our system does such a good. It does such a good. Does every halfback, well, every time they step into that jersey. No matter what halfback goes in there, the system kind of folds around them and makes them perform to the top of their level, right? I thought what Tanner brought to our side was structure, was consistency. It's all the stuff that a lot of people, somewhat complained about at times in Shawnee's game, especially later in, and, getting us to points on the field. But I think the extra depth in his kick, the extra air he puts under that ball, he really gets through it, like he jumps through the ball. I really enjoyed just those little, like, he's an out and out halfback, and we all kind of, when we look at, Metcalf, he's kind of became this hybrid of, a halfback plus a running six. Like he was really combination. He had to do the playmaking when he did it, and him and Chanel kind of bounced off each other in that sort of aspect. But in this one, it was like Tanner's the out and out half. And Chanel was definitely a six. There was moments where I saw that, Chanel was switching over side of the ruck and putting Tanner out the back of shape, and that looked good as well, right? Like I thought that was really nice. But for a majority of the game, Tanner was getting really good early touches out the back of shape, early around the ruck, putting the boys into the right positions, and then those real big booming kicks to the corner when we had Rocco and all that chasing through, really pinning the Tigers back, behind that 30. There was a good period in that game where we just had consistent roll on, and the Tigers couldn't get out of their 30. When they had to force like Latu Fainu and, Jerome Luai to a longer kicking game, which they're not, both those two are not known for, that is the reason why we look so dominant, especially in yardage in this game overall. And it all came off the back of just the boot of Tanner Boyd. And we all knew that was his best asset in his game. I think the one that really surprised me, not so much surprised, but it was one area that I was looking at, was his defensive work in this game as well. I thought that, there was a moment, I think he missed an earlier tackle or whatever in this game that ended up causing for a try. But I think his effort and his placement, he wants to get himself in the action. He made a lot of big key tackles in this game as well, which I was very, very impressed with. And lastly, I still sit on the sentiment that I think Luke Metcalf's a better passer of the ball in moments as well. But Tanner's just got that real, he's got a real nice pass on him as well. It's not as, when I say these things, it's not like I'm saying that he's absolutely mud in this area. I'm just saying that he impressed me when jumping up to first grade, just showing he was putting the ball in the right places. He had early releases to Taine and allowed Taine to get through his work as well, which we really enjoyed out the back of shape. So overall, very, very good performance. For me, I want to see consistency out of this in first grade because, the Titans, not to say I don't remember him having a game like that sort of thing consistently at the Titans. I want to see that week in, week out. But what, caveats that point as well, what, people would obviously say to that point is he's been doing it in Cup week in, week out too. So why can't he do it in first grade week in, week out, doing what he's doing now? So I'm very, very excited for our run in for the rest of the year. And I think he's the perfect halfback to get us towards where we want to be by the end of the season for sure, even down on injuries and key men.
Josh, do you share similar sentiments? Were you impressed with his game and even like the different style of play? What did you make of Tanner's performance for you, and how does it, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, like Ash, I was really impressed. I thought that he slotted right into our team, into our system, and how we play. I thought our attack had shades of 2023, which was, again, really, really good because, that was humming. I sent a voice message to Ash last night.
Yeah.
And I said he's like a bit of a slow SJ in terms of like the game manager SJ. He just holds the defense so well and just creates space on the outside just because, the Tigers obviously didn't know his threat. But he just holds and holds and holds, goes so deep, and then fires the ball out, and it just created so much space on the outside. I loved his kicking game as well. I thought he was just pinpoint with all of his kicks. This season we've kind of shifted between almost a 60-40 split with Metcalf and Chanel, but Tanner took probably 85% of those kicks on the weekend, and they were great. They were fantastic, and it wasn't to the same place, to the same spot every time. He was mixing it up left and right, and it just we were just trapping them in, like Ash was saying. There was no coming out of their 30-meter line that they just could not get out, and then we'd just force them into mistakes, and that was all off the back of his kicking game. And then when we're in the 20. He's, holding it up perfectly. He's working with Chanel. And that combination just clicked straight away, which is, exactly what you want to see. And it's almost like, as sad as it is to have Luke, out for the rest of the season, I also said this to Ash as well, it's almost the perfect time Like if it was going to happen, like we want it. Well, like again, don't want it to happen. But if it was going to happen, you'd choose it to happen before the run home, with enough time for him to gel and enough time for our team to, get used to having this game manager half in again, in the extra game manager, and then work to that and work to those strengths, and as opposed to having him for too long, where teams really work out our attack and go, oh yeah, sweet, we can do this, or having him for too short and going, we don't have the combos yet.
Yeah,
and again,
I like the. Sorry, Gash. Yep.
I just want to caveat this whole thing with Tanner too. Is like, I want to add in. I was kind of like, this is where I got caught up in my words earlier. First talking about Tanner. I think this is the biggest credit. Again, you guys know how much I love Andrew Webster at the moment and where he's growing his game. But I think this is the biggest credit to Andrew Webster. Whatever halfback we've had in that jersey has played to their fullest potential. And I think the system just breeds, a halfback to play, be the center of attention. And because it's so systematic, you got to do all the simple things right. And that's what feeds that. People like Tanner Boyd need just to know, take the pressure off. Just all you got to do is get through your work and do what you need to do, right? Think of it, Sean Johnson had a Daly M year under Andrew Webster's tutelage, right? Should have had Daly M, right? Then the next year, we had a down year with Shawnee there in moments, but when he got injured, Tamate Martin came in and he reinvigorated everything. It was like Tamate was playing the best I've ever seen Tamate Martin play, especially in the halves as well. And this is going back to when he was coming through with the Tigers, the Panthers, and all those earlier days. And then now, him being pulled out, Luke Metcalf at 6 going to 7 has had a Daly M year. He was having a Daly M season. People got to remember that too. When we talk about Tanner and everything he's doing now, we can talk about maybe they can be a halves pairing together later on in that. But at that point, he's our halfback and was our future halfback. He was having a Daly M year. Webby was, a big reason for that. And also the hard work that he was getting through. Now he's pulled out. Tanner's having the year that all the Titans fans have been hoping and praying that they would have for a halfback, right? But unfortunately, what it's come down to is such a great system. That's what it is. It's not. We're not looking at it playing an attacking brand of football. We're doing all the simple things right. We're building a base in our defense first of all, and then using the best part of Tanner Boyd's game, which is his kicking game, to keep us in the contest and make him look like just an incredible halfback. This is what the Titans never got in their game. They wanted him to be, let's say, another Luke Metcalf or look at a Jaden Campbell right now. They want him to be a guy that just goes out there, throws the footy, flares to the wind. That's not Tanner's game. It never was. That's not Toby Sexton's game. Never was. That's not Jamal Fogarty's game. Never was. But, when you put these guys into a good system, you can see how good a halfbacks they are. And that's why systematic football is what it is. And it builds structures, consistency. And that's what we have in our football side right now.
Yeah. I just think when you guys are talking there, I was thinking the system we play, it allows, I think it allows the system to win the game. What I mean by that is there's no 5-man cutout passes required of you. There's nothing off the cuff that you need to do within the system. Webby's pretty much said, if you play within it, we'll death by 1,000 paper cuts. We will eventually get the look, we'll eventually get what we want to get. And I think that's credit to someone, even credit more so to Metcalf, who you think is probably more of an off-the-cuff player, that he's even kind of bought into it and sees the value of it. But now with Tanner Boyd, it's almost like robotic because it's so in his wheelhouse that you mentioned, Ash, that it's like this is maybe the perfect system for him to really shine in, the way this team plays. So I just love one or 2 points I had from his game I really enjoyed was the kick velocity on the kicks. You see how the ball drops down? It drops heavy. And I was like, yo, that's, it's, some guys kick it and the ball floats nicely down, but I feel like he gets a lot of velocity. He did the torpedo. He mixed it up. My favorite kick I said to you in the backstage was that kick where Staines tapped it out for a goal line dropout. It just sat perfectly in that space. I was like, that to me is the balance we need. But yeah, any more thoughts on Tanner Boyd?
Just incredible, bro. And again, when we go down to it, I want to see a good sample size and all that of him overall. But as I kind of bounce back on myself as well, we've seen this in Cup for all year. Like the system that we're playing in Cup is very similar, if not the same system we're playing in first grade. That's the reason why our overall system is working the way it is, where people are going into our system in first grade and playing the exact same type of football they're playing in Cup and playing just as well in areas as well. People don't understand there is a big jump from New South Wales Cup to first grade. There's a massive jump. There's a difference there. We've seen Ronald Volkman go to the Parramatta Eels in a different system, and we know how good he was in our Cup side. But going to first grade is a big jump there. Tanner's done that and done it with ease there, and that's due to the system that we put into place. Tanner's been incredible as well, and I'm going to give all the credit to Tanner and his hard work and also buying in and staying with us as well and trusting in us to build him into a halfback to what he is. But the system is really the big thing here, and what Webby's kind of put into place is a very, this is all ticks in his areas. I hope people don't, shy away from that in any sort of way. This is, what do we call it account before? We had Shawnee, we had Tamade, we had Luke Metcalf, and now we have Tanner Boyd. That's 4 halfbacks there that are playing up top competition, at the top of the heap of halfbacks. And lastly, on the point too, when we saw, we see systematically like the Dogs with Toby Sexton at 7 and see how good he's been playing this year. We've seen, the Penrith Panthers with Nathan Cleary and see what Nathan Cleary, when he goes to New South Wales, in State of Origin, there is a jump up there, and there's a point where he's got to do more individual type of plays in State of Origin to where, with the Panthers, he can back into a system and play his style of football. It kind of builds around Nathan Cleary. I think that's what the Blues got to try and figure out with Nathan Cleary going into New South Wales. But, that's a different day. But you know what I mean?
Why are you going to bring that up, man?
This is the difference, bro, of why the Titans couldn't get the best out of Tanner Boyd, but the Warriors are able to get the best out of Tanner Boyd at the moment.
Exactly.
It's a builder
totally
around
get
him.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good point. Guys, we're going to just track now. But yeah, Tanner Boyd, there's a lot to discuss. We'll monitor his performances, obviously. But just quickly, again, guys, we are got the meet and greet. No one's entered. Maybe don't. No. Everyone's got their tickets. No one wants to come. It's all good. But if you do want to come and meet up with us and my MC here, Josh Hill and Ash, myself and many others, type hashtag WTV. What's that, man?
Can I enter?
Yeah, re-enter. He can re-enter. we just want some. We just like spinning the wheel, pretty much. It's just a fun part of the show.
Bro, enter on my 3 different accounts. I got you.
You got the 3 different accounts. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, chuck it in there, guys, if you want to jump in. And we'll do that after the combined 17. It's next Saturday, actually, 1 to 2:30 p.m. at Lily Worlds, just outside Mount Smart, and we can't wait. But let's go into this young man's game. The man I say never to write off, Taine Tuaupiki. I'll start with you, Josh, man. What do you make of his performance? And what does that mean? Is there discussions that need to be had about CNK and Taine and, fitting CNK in somewhere but keeping Taine? What's your thoughts around that space as well?
Yeah, man. I've been so high on Taine for the longest time. And he, to me, he just needed a shot to show what he can do. And I think, even with the with being on the wing to start the year, he still was able to show, hey, I'm a great player. And he scored so many fantastic tries, some mean as individual efforts, but him at fullback is just different gravy, man. He just, I don't know what it is. He's so, again, silky. He just, moves in the way that works in our system. The way he runs the ball back is different to, Chance, but it works. He's such a small body, but he plays so much bigger than he is. I sit there and I go, when Chance is gone, or even when, we were talking earlier in the year when Chance was rumored to be going off to, UK Super League, sitting there, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't oh, well, we're going to have to go out on the market and find a new fullback and who could we get or what could fit. Taine is the guy. And he's, I'm worried that we're gonna have too much of him this year, and then other teams start to come sniff around. Because I do think he's the future of the team once once we fully understand what our system is and how our system plays. He just seems like he fits so well as like a cog in the system.
Yeah. He's just, again, I always use the footy player analogy. Like, just, you have an athlete and then you have a footy player. I'll always choose the footy player, no matter how small or less athletic they are. I like the way he thinks and plays the game. He's got that natural flow to him. That last line break, I just love that. Seeing that at the end of the game, that was so cool. But yeah, what are you making of Taine? Is it time to move CNK into the centers, or is it those discussions that we need to have? What do you make of that, my man?
Oh yeah, every time he steps up, bro, it's always a great performance to Taine. Like, he goes out there, plays with his heart. As you said, he's a football player for sure. Like, he sniffs out opportunities and he takes them. I think that's like what we all love about Taine Tuaupiki is he's so silky. I love the way he uses the football to kind of mesmerize the defense, and that kind of helps him with getting these yardage carries and stuff. He always shows the football in a face, and whenever he shows the football into a defensive face, they stop on their heels, and it allows him to really get through his work. It's such a really underrated asset of footy. Like, players like Nico Hines has always been very good at it. Even going in past, like Matty Bowens and stuff of the world. Billy Slater's used to be really good. Just having the ball out in front, your defense freezes a little bit because you don't know which way it can go. You can show the ball one way or the other way. Defenses always go those ways. It's a wild thing, but he does it to the best of his best ability as well in the league. Like, I think he's incredible at it. To the argument, like, with him and Chance, like, it's such a tough one because Chance is so consistent and does such a great job of what he does. We got another one that's at a first grade level there in Taine Tuaupiki that could elevate us as well as, in that area. And, we're coming to a point where, it's probably a little bit more of a discussion a little bit later on as well with, our right side center position is just consistently going down with injuries. And we seem to have a guy who step in there and then going back out. And whether, Webby does see what Taine's doing at the moment and goes, you know what, like, Chance is getting through a ton of work. Maybe if I want to hold him back from a couple of injuries that he's picking up in his game, give him a little bit lesser work, but what Chance is going to produce. Put him out in that center. Personally, I've always said it. I don't usually like Chance playing center. I don't think defensively. I've always been worried about Chance playing center. But this system's obviously made things work, and it always has consistently made things work. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it if it comes to a point where, Ali maybe needs the rest of the year in Cup, to get over his little niggling injuries. We know what he can produce. We know he'll be back up there within a year or two time. Obviously coming into next season, we'll have this discussion all over again. Rocco, we need him just to be healthy, have his time off. Chance goes to centre, put Taine at back, and see what Taine can produce. Because, like, honestly, his playmaking ability is out of this world. And, as it's been pointed out many times in the discussion here, is his heart. To get smoked the way he did by Jarrell Skelton and then get up and the way he performed the rest of that game, like, that it just shows the character in the kid. So every time he plays, bro, I absolutely love him. And again, he just adds a different dimension to our team. It's not Chance, but it's Taine Tuaupiki. And that's what I love about the Warriors at the moment. Whoever gets in there, it's not like, oh, we're going to have to change. Like, they just play their football game and it works. That's just usually how it goes.
Josh, do you think there's a big question about durability, and I know people, but I'm almost of the mindset like, well, we'll wait till he gets injured. Let it happen first before we start talking about injuries and all that type of stuff. Do you think there's an issue with Taine durability long-term wise, or is that a concern that we should have?
I don't think so. I think he, to me, it looks like he can shake off quite a bit. Like Ash was saying, that hit from Skelton, like, you could hear that in the stands. That sounded like 4 or 5 ribs broke in that tackle. It was like crazy. And you're just like, the rest of the set's going on, and they're starting to get the ball, and this guy's like, coughing up blood, and he's just like getting up. The trainer's like, "Are you all goods?" And he's like, "Oh, I have to get back on. Have to get back to fullback." I don't really worry too much about Taine's durability. I think, like I said before, he plays bigger than himself, which could get him into trouble at some points. But I think he almost is underestimated because of his size. And I was listening to the Bloke podcast, and they were talking a bit about him and just the way he, the way he does play and the way he, the way he moves almost is making up for his lack of size. So I'm not I'm not too worried about him injury wise. Again, if he does go down, then that may cause an issue. But I mean, Chance has been struggling with injuries as well. It's not if you're the size of Chance or if you're the size of this person, you're less likely to get injured. It's just it's just the way the game goes. And to me, the only things that keep him down are wingers jamming in off their lines and spear challenging him.
Thing.
Oh, bro,
last one on that cup too. Oh, that one cup was horrendous. And that when we discussed Taine, also I do want to point out my thoughts around teams coming in and trying to poach our players and stuff like that. And I understand the people getting scared of those sort of points, but we've seen that players are willing to, obviously stay in their positions, what Tanner did this year and extending, again, especially for an Australian boy like Tanner to do what he did to extend. I think someone like Taine, he probably understands the role and understands the position of all right, I'll get there when I get there and I'll prove myself when I get there, and especially in a position that is so every team's got an incredible fullback this year, these days. To Taine's ability, there's we can have arguments on who's better and who's not with fullbacks and stuff. But I think, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be too worried in the area that him leaving and other teams looking at poaching him and stuff. I think he looks very good and settled to what he's doing. And he's obviously getting a lot of good, notes and that handing down from the coaching staff that we have at the moment. That's allowing these boys to stay. My best example on that, again, goes back to Tanner Boyd. He had all the opportunities to move on to play first grade for the Cowboys, whether that was going to be hooker or just getting a first grade, position back home, especially in Queensland as well. And he said, nah, I'm happy with what we're doing here. So that obviously shows that there's a lot of good communication in the club at the moment. The culture's an incredible place, and players are waiting and holding their time. And I don't think that, again, I think Taine's an incredible player overall, and I'm loving having him at that fullback. And if we go back to Chance, I'm not worried of losing Taine. But then we also got these other little pieces that are coming up through the grades as well, Joseph Ratcliffe's of the world and stuff like that are incredible talents as well. So there is going to be that little bit of there's probably going to be a lot of players there that can step up and do a very good job as well. And it's probably picking which one of those ones is going to take us in the future. And at the moment, I think Taine Tuaupiki is the top of the heap right now. But again, I wouldn't be too worried about teams poaching players like Taine Tuaupiki just yet. I think that what the club's doing right now systematically and the way they're talking to our players is holding our players within for sure.
I mean, you don't sit in a Warriors system for 3 years without,
Loving
some
it.
potential, and having a coach that backs you and believes you. I remember those early 23 interviews, the One NZ podcast ones where One Take was it, and I think Webby recruited him, from Burleigh Bears, I think it was. So it's definitely, I think it's a coach that's backed him and he's performed. I can't fault him on many performances, and I'm in the main we'll cross that river when we need to, but for what he's doing right now, he's been absolutely awesome.
And last one on that point, bro, too, as you look at the Gold Coast Titans, Gold Coast have held on to AJ Brimson, Keanu Keaney, Jaden Campbell, they got Jalen de Groot, and they've got another young halfback coming through, Queensland Maroons 19s, that is absolutely incredible as well, who brained it in the State of Origin under 19s. They all want to stay at the Gold Coast Titans. I hope we don't become a club that's like the Gold Coast Titans that wants to put fullbacks into halves and try to figure the shit out doing that. It's going to come to a point where, honestly, you're going to have to cut one of them. It is what it is. We're just going to have to deal with it, and we're a better club for it. The Gold Coast have been struggling with that. But if the Gold Coast can hold those players at that top elk, AJ Brimson is a Queensland halfback for sure. He could have been. Jaden Campbell is right up there for being one of the best fullbacks in the game as well. Sorry, fullback I meant before. And lastly, Keanu Keaney is the boom fullback of the league right now, and no one's touching him right now. So I think we got the same ability to hold on to these players.
Okay, I got a bit of work to do right now. Sorry. My face is lighting up. Okay. Okay. How do I do this? I want to shout out the bro Norpeta for the super chat here. I
Oh,
think he's put in 3 or 4 of them. I'm not sure if that's
Crazy.
true. But Norpeta, you're an absolute legend, and yeah, we appreciate this massively, and especially here at Wise Up TV, we never asked for this, but the love and passion, the community, we really appreciate. I think you might have put. No, but just check, man. You've chucked a couple in here. I don't want to be greedy here or anything, but like, okay, just we
If this is
right
right,
now.
oh my god.
Yeah. But we appreciate you, brother. I think you got far out. Okay.
Josh
yeah,
is
love
stunned
you,
right
man.
now. Look at Josh.
Josh
He's
is stunned right now. The MC is going to have a fantastic time right now. We miss that MC. Oh, actually, the MC's frozen there. Far out. He's in awe.
Yeah.
He's in actual awe right now. That is the sign of the super chats from Norpeta. We'll leave that right there.
There he is. He's back.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah. He was stunned.
He wasn't
Lads,
sure.
I was seeing the money like for my in. I just went onto another tab to get the bank account ready to send over.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Was I looking stunned?
No.
I was feeling stunned.
No, it's very honestly, guys, it's gonna we appreciate it, and all this is gonna go back into our event and other stuff as well, and especially for our MC. And look, he's frozen. He's happy. He's so happy.
He's frozen again.
He's doing it on purpose now. But thank you, Norpeta, man. Thank you to Strictly as always. Far out, Strictly. Too kind, man. Just want to say shout out to the Wise Up team, to Jossie. Yep. Make a space to be part of this Warrior Chain. Up the Wise. Can't wait to catch up next week. Yeah, man. It's going to be mean. And shout out to Strictly. I always say Strictly's content, guys. If you're on Instagram, go support my man Strictly. He does some of the best content in terms of gathering all of the reels and stories from everywhere. Every morning I click onto him, and he's got all the latest content news, not just from Warriors and NRLW. He's got creators as well, so he gets all your different creators that are out there and related to Warriors. Tans, you're too kind here. Tans, we love you, Tans. You're very kind here. I know it sucks that we couldn't get you up here. We would have loved for you to come up to the Wise Up meet and greet. But we'll sort something out. We'll find a way to get in touch with you and we'll catch up. I appreciate you, Tans, as well. Farah. He's back. My man is back.
I'm sitting here and I'm like smiling because I don't want to freeze on on
a bad face.
So I'm like, yeah, everything's going good. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's I don't know, money transfers over the internet just not doing too well, but that's all right. We'll sort it out.
We appreciate it, man. We'll appreciate it. We're gonna get the money to where it needs to be, man. And love to everyone. We really just appreciate it. Tan's got the text return. Good on you. Follow your text. Everyone follow your text and bring it straight back. I'm just kidding. Love to you guys, man. We love you guys and can't wait for next Saturday. Let's get to this topic here. Bench impact. I'll start with you, Josh. Who for you off the bench, like you were really impressed with? Actually, talk to everyone on the bench. I thought they all played amazing. But yeah, the bench is growing, is developing. Even like we talked off here about Dimitrik low-key being one of the better players now, and then you got Stal Smith, and then Tamaide finding himself everywhere, and his role seems obvious now that we need him. But what do you make of the bench, bro?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to give props to Dimitrik. I think he's been severely underrated just because where so many people are talking about so many different other people, right? But when he was on the field on the weekend, every run he had, he was just, there was just something special about what he was doing. He was, the late footwork at the line, the ball playing, like it was just on. Like it was actually just, exactly what we needed and exactly, how it needed to go. And I don't know, like at one point the mate that I was with was like, I'm smelling a Dimitri try here. And I was like, I'm glad we've already extended his contract because the way he's playing, man, like, deserves so much more money. He's growing into, an incredible player that will be so vital for us in 2-3 years, in terms of like starting and being, the player we need him to be. But he didn't outplay the expectations we have on him. Like that's what we have for him. That's what we think of him as that player. And it's the same with, Taine Smith and the way he came on and did what he did. He was, out there towards the end of the game, and he was just putting shots on, running hard, doing exactly what we needed him to do. Same with Jacob Laban, was there just making impact, causing, little threats for the Tigers defense. And then to Mighty Martin to just get and say, good luck, bro. There you go. You're out there. No Kurt Capewell. No, Rocco's gone down. You've got 65 minutes of this. So good luck. And for him to just, in his 8 seconds, set up a try was pretty cool. And then just, he, at no point was I like, that right side is needing more.
Yeah.
Is, he wasn't lackluster. Yeah, I think we let in another try down that edge, but it wasn't like, that's more defensive line shifting as opposed to, a misread. But the way he was, kick chase, he just opened up time again on that right side, and we just, keep opening up space somehow, keep finding the space. I don't know. They all played fantastic, and it's one of the things that we never had before. Usually the bench was just like the last few of whoever was available / good, and so now it's good to have them all fit and firing.
Yep.
Sorry if I
We've got ventriloquy here.
Yeah. I see the comments.
I'm like, do you guys remember just the side topic? I don't know if you got this in Aussie, but there was like the guy that used to do ventriloquy on late night Fridays here in New Zealand, and he had like the redhead like puppet thing. Anyway. Why
does bro look like Barnett? I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Right, I'll be back. Hold on, I'll be back.
You'll be back. Jump in. Even if you need to turn the camera off, just stay in there as well. Like as long as we get you on there, man. But no, love to our brother. Ash, man, what are you making of this? Of all of them? But I know you were talking off here a little bit more about Samaire. And his kind of role. You were really impressed with him coming in and doing a shift there in the centers?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, especially all discussions like Sam Healy. I absolutely love Sam Healy. And I love the thoughts around like getting him into that 14 jersey and having that beautiful like interchange of Wade Egan and Sam Healy just to keep the foot like on the throat. But there's no question that we have been dealing with mid-game injuries for the last, what would you say, about 4 or 5 weeks or so, right? Like, the amount of interchanges we've had mid-game for a centre going down, a winger going down, like, that Penrith game, Dallin going down, we had Maratani Kore going down, like, the Broncos game, we had Metcalf going down, like, Chance going down. In these last, like, bulk of weeks, we've had him play fullback, we've had him play hooker, we've played him play centre, we had him play, did I say fullback in there? We had him play halfback. We had him play 13. Like, that is the reason why we're carrying him on the bench. Like, he kind of proved it over the weekend. He not even, like, if we want to really nail it down and go real nitty-gritty, he started on the right edge in center and then shifted to the left edge in center And then he ended up causing that last pass, I'm pretty sure, for the Roger Tuivasa-Sheck try. Like, he had moments as well. He was looking real scheming. And, I had DMs from close mates of mine and that said about, like, bro, Tomite is an absolute freak. Like, what he's doing at the moment, he's going out there and producing out there and looking dangerous in all these other positions. I think it needed to be touched on because, the amount of times I've seen, like, I agree where I would love to see Sam Healy there, but we are a club right now that are dealing with mid-game injury. Who's the best guy to, fill in for that? Tomite Martin. He's a footballer and he goes out there and plays football. He's an incredible player.
I think it would be, the situation again, if everyone was fit and healthy, Tomite may not make it, and you have a Healy there. Who credit to Healy, he looked great in a lot of short little kick for Kossi was beautiful and stuff. So, they've got our talent there. I think it's good to have that balance. It's good to have someone there that's available and can do a job. Like, I cracked up because I saw Berry go down, and then the next thing we were doing a scrum play, and then Tomite's tipping it on to Dallin for a try. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm. I think as well, I think he just versatility and like, I think even the fringe players when they're coming in, they're like knowing the system well enough to know what to do in every spot. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So, in theory, because everyone's been working in the system for the last 3 years, they should be able to know where they need to stand in the center position. When you're watching them do their training reps, they're all kind of, sometimes Barnett or Fisher playing halfback, or they should know where things are. just type in the chat. We got the Josh Elliott right now.
Right, I think it's okay. Not sure.
Yeah. You love it.
No. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, let's keep it moving, bro. We're nearly an hour in here. We need to get to our. We'll get to everything, guys. But we're just. I think we're just so. We're so pumped from the win on Sunday that we're going to keep moving.
Yep.
I know I'm supposed to talk CHT, but we'll talk a little bit later when we get there. And I can't wait to because he's been awesome. But the team list, just a little adaptation. Obviously, Berry out. Yep. And Kate Well comes in to, I'd say, right centre. Would you say, Ash, that he's going to right centre to be with Dell? Is that
so
or do you reckon Pompey stays out there? What's your thoughts?
No, I do think we go Kurt Cabell to the right. I think that's the way we played him with the Dolphins game from memory. It may even be like who's going to have to defend on Brady Best. But then again, talking about that, I thought Adam Pompey had probably one of his best games I've seen as well in 2023 against Braden Best on that right edge from memory. So maybe we do want to go Brady Best versus Adam Pompey. So again, wait for the day, but I would probably predict that Kurt Capewell starts on the right.
Okay.
Unless Ali or that comes in, and that's another discussion, but that's the way I'm thinking.
Yep. Okay, I just don't think Ali's quite ready right now, But yeah, I think leave it there for now. Unchanged bench. I think we're all pretty happy with that. Josh, nothing. You're not crying out for a Healy right now, or something a little bit different.
No. I think sticking with this team as much as we can and continuing building these combos is going to be what wins us, games down the stretch.
Yeah. So you guys, we're definitely going to get there. Sorry, I'm just.
Oh, who said that?
Yeah, some guy, man. He's a channel member. He's yeah.
Oh, true. All right, you should get him to MC.
Harder. So let's go now to. Yeah, I think we're all pretty happy with that. I'm going to quickly cut now to, the Knights. Just off some topics. O'Brien. Not O'Brien, but O'Brien.
That's a good one.
I made that up. I thought it was smart. And Ponga to rugby.
He's giggling to himself,
Yeah, I love it when you come. But Josh, man, what do you make of the news? O'Brien on the fringes. We've heard this so many times. O'Brien's about, and I hate this because O'Brien always is about to get sacked. Then he wins in the game. The game when they're talking about it. and Ponga, bro. What are you making of all this news out of the Knights?
It's weird, bro. Like, he's made it to like 4 of the past 5 years finals with the Knights, and they're like, nah, you're out. You know, like he primes them for the run. You know, we saw that with 2023, where they ultimately ended up getting spanked by us in the finals. But you know, there was never a point where, you know, or up until that point where they went on their run and where Ponga stole the Dally M, they were all going, O'Brien out, he's gone. This year, possibly it could come true. And look, maybe it's just time. Maybe it's run its course. Maybe, you know, they do need to go in a different direction. And if you're looking at the market, you've got Josh Hannay out there at the moment, who I think was assistant for Queensland this year as well. So obviously a proven winner. You know, and like, I think he will, like, he could just be the next candidate that people, you know, drop their coaches for, even if they're not ready. And with Kalen Ponga, he won't come to New Zealand to play rugby because they'll pay him $200,000. And, you know, when he was looking at the Warriors, he wanted 1.7 mil or something to come live in New Zealand. So he'll go to Japan if he's going.
Go to Japan, yeah. That's probably it. If anything,
Japan or France.
Yep. Ash, anything to read into this?
Pretty much like jumping on the back of Josh's thoughts here. I've never been a massive fan of Adam O'Brien as a coach in general. I think like he's just one of the. It's very similar to what the Dragons have been for a long period of time, where they're a very good mid-table side. Like, as I said, they've squeezed into finals these multiple years. I think their best year 2023, where they went on that massive run, as you said, like this nicked the Daily M of Shawnee and that. But ridiculous. What I've just never understood about Adam O'Brien is the formula was there, and then he shifts with it. He always just changes with it. The halves merry-go-round starts, and they buy Jack Cogger. They put Jack Cogger in there. Then they go, no, you're not a halfback. They put Tyson Gamble in there. That never worked at Broncos. And he goes, yeah, all right, that's going to work. Oh, no, don't worry. We're going to pull him out. Oh, maybe we go back to, let's put a fullback to a 6. Like, I've always hated that. Like, when I'm, like, watching, like, I'm very, like, purist of, like, get you guys out there, like, you know, with the Titans, for me, I'm just like, chop people out. Like, you don't need those players. Put the players that are supposed to be in those positions and they play out their football game. Again, like, it's a massive credit to him to make that team go to the finals and do in that area. But he's never filled me with confidence that they were ever going to get further than probably first or second round of the finals in general, first of all. And secondly, on point of it, I just... the frustration of watching the Newcastle Knights, of what they have as a side that they've got there. I heard an argument, I can't remember who was bringing it up, and said that Knights side's not built for finals. When you have Kalen Ponga in your side, when you have Bradman Best in your side, when you even bring back someone like a Dominic Young into your side, you got a Leo Thompson that the Bulldogs played premium to get him over as well. Everyone loves him as a prop forward. You got Kai Spears-Paul as one of the best like prospect edge back rollers in the league coming over from England. You've got Tyson Frizzell that's out and out like one of the best consistent footballers. Like, you know, they've got, you know, players like Fletcher Sharp. They've got incredible talent on their side. They shouldn't be where they really are if you actually take it really into full account, especially, again, you got KP in your side. Like, yeah, I don't know. For me, I've been waiting for this to happen for a little while now. I think it's just because he ends up finding that way to get them just into the finals, and he holds on to his job. He holds on. But unfortunately, I think he's just one of those coaches that, like, he's not going to get it completely over the line. I think he's not really building anything in that sort of stand. I think he's just a mid-table sort of like, I don't know. It feels harsh for me saying this because they're doing defense. Like, they're incredible defensive side. They're the one side that really boggles me in general of, like, why they compete the way they do. That they're incredible defensively, but they're just so lousy in moments. And I feel like a lot of that comes down to the coach. Like, I really do. I don't think put it on too much of the players, because those players, how do you get consistency when your halfback changes every week? I really do believe that. Like, but anyway, that's, yeah. I think it's a good chance for us to, you know, get up against a night side. They've got good players on it that can compete on their day. But again, like we did with the Tigers, just choke them out of the contest and show that changing your system week in, week out never gets you to where you want to get to. You gotta stay consistent with the players you have out there and just trust and build your system in that sort of sense.
Yep. Okay. Appreciate those thoughts. Let's get now into a combined 17, guys. surprisingly still like good players in the Knights. You know, like they we'll look at the squad soon, but we'll get into it now anyway. I'll just share the screen, and then we'll do the scores for the boys there. So we have Dane Gagai, who is actually the captain, coming up against Taine Tuaupiki. Josh, you mentioned Gagai having a good game. It was looking pretty good actually in the fullback spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think he he just runs hard and caused some problems for the Storm when the Knights were coming out of coming out of yardage. I think that to me, I think Taine outplayed him over the weekend. Gagai was good, but Taine was better. And I think we'll probably see the same this weekend as well. Like Gagai will play well, but he'll just get suffocated. And I think the way we present a line on kick chase will definitely bring his impact down a bit more than he's probably expecting.
Yeah, Ash, which way would you go with this one? From in respect to Gagai, I don't want to dismiss Gagai.
Yeah,
we know Gagai is a great player, but in this current role as fullback, would you go Gagai or Taine?
I think that, as a fullback, I'm going Taine Tuaupiki. I think Taine's a better fullback. If we're looking at a better player, better, overall, Dane Gagai is that, especially at centre. But he's out of position. So I'm going to go Taine Tuaupiki as a fullback.
Yep. You cool with that, Josh?
Absolutely.
Yep. We'll go now to the left centre. I'll add Taine in after we do left wing, sorry. So we've got RTS versus... Is that Marju, I think? It's a good battle.
Was it RTS? Yep.
Marju's on the
side. Yep, you're right.
I haven't watched much of Marju, so I can't comment on him, but I know the dangerous ability of Marju. But for me, what I've seen from RTS is I got to go RTS just on my personal thing. Josh, would you go RTS or Marju?
Absolutely, I'd go RTS. I think he's slowly getting back into his best form, and what we needed from him as a winger. And yeah, I think he's for me the better winger at the moment.
Do you agree with that, Ash?
As the great Jazzy said in the chat, mate, roger that. Let's go. RTS, baby.
Okay. I think it is Dom Young versus Dallin. Dom Young's been pretty hit and miss, hasn't he? And he's just got moved. He's been gone back to the Knights now, and he's quite the inconsistent player. But I know Dom can be good as well. Yeah. Ash, where would you go with this one?
So it's a tough one because, on his day, I think Dominic Young can be just game breaking, size, speed. Just defensively, he has real key errors in him. Dallin, I think, is just slightly the more consistent winger overall. But this one's 50-50 for me. I'll give it to Dominic Young in this one currently. He's younger. I think, he can improve in those areas at time. But you guys already know how much, I love Dal. So this is not me discrediting Dal at all. But I think Dominic Young is probably just about the better winger at the moment, just by a touch.
Josh, you'd sit with that as well?
I don't know, man. I think for me, what I love about both of these wingers is that they can both just somehow find the try line. These are the two that I go, you could put them 5 meters out with defenders coming across, and I'd probably back them in more than I would any other players in the league. Just the finishing ability on these two. So for me, it comes to other portions of the game like defense, and I love a good Dal intercept. Don't love a good Dal jam in. But that's the system. That's what we play. But man, I'm also 50-50, but I am leaning Dal. Not to put it completely on you, Levon, but
I'm
This is
going
50-50,
Dell.
bro.
I'm going
Yeah,
Dell
I love
because
it.
Dell followed me on Instagram, so I'm gonna have to go Dell here.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that, bro.
And this is the
And,
guy that
like, shout out to
I
Dal.
I brought up Charlie Staines against him last week. He doesn't. He must have watched All You Can Eat Warriors. So. I'm all on the Dell train from now on until he
Right.
unfollows me until I say something bad. But
Hey,
So
Dell,
I
yeah,
went
my brother
to I was at work, bro, and there is no I wouldn't say a hater, but there is no bigger hater of Charlie Staines, I will say it, than my man Brody that I do my Wednesday shows with. I turned to him, I was like,
yeah.
Levon started saying something about Charlie Staines holds a candle to Dal. He said what? I was like, yeah, I know, bro. I held him back on that. I was like, no way, there's no way.
That was probably one of my worst takes I've ever taken on What's Up TV, bro. Nah, that was funny as.
I understand where
But
he was
yeah,
coming
yeah.
from,
and
though.
Dell
He
followed you after
obviously
that.
hasn't watched the episode. So if Dal, if you're watching, don't watch the last episode, okay? But from now on, we're gonna go here every day. So we'll go now to the is this left side? Bradman Best versus
Yep.
Pompey.
Mm.
I think Pomps has won a few of these battles. I can't remember if he's come up against Best a few times.
He loves Brady. He loves playing
Yeah,
Brady.
Bradman Best is a great athlete. Do we go Bradman Best here? And he's been in form roughly, has he? Yeah,
he
I will go
has.
Best. I love Pomps, but the Bradman Best, yeah.
Pompey
Would you go,
taught him a
Josh?
lesson in 2023, but I'd also go.
Yeah.
I'd also go. Oh, bro, the way, like, I've never seen Pompey step
Pompey,
like that.
yeah, destroyed him up there. Like, yeah.
It was gnarly, eh?
I hadn't seen him do it before. Haven't seen him do it since.
Hey, that
Actually,
Tigers
no,
game was a pretty good one this year.
Yeah, in Christchurch as well. He did
Yep.
that as well on the wing. But yeah, that Christchurch, the Tigers game as well. He's got it in him. But yeah, Best for me.
Yeah. It's got to be best.
No, absolutely. Okay, we'll go now to the other side. We have Fletcher Hunt versus Kurt Capewell. I think, I love, but what are you guys going? You going Fletcher Hunt or Capewell? I got to go Capewell, obviously.
Yeah, this one's like, unfortunately, Fletcher's young, very young talent.
Young player,
playing.
right?
Yeah, he's played in this position before coming through, but he's more so a winger / he's played fullback at a lick as well. So I think at this grade, I think Kurt Capewell is just slightly above, obviously, just slightly as a centre. Like Kurt's a great player in centre, but I prefer, obviously, we all prefer Kurt at the second row. But yeah, I think Kurt wins out this battle here for sure.
Yep. Cool. Okay, let's go into the halves. I'm in CHT. And talk about CHT for a little bit. Up against Jackson Hastings. But yeah, man, talk to us about CHT, man. What have you he's been playing awesome. What's your been take on him as his performance?
Every week I just feel so like vindicated for fighting everyone in the chat last year. For arguing with everyone saying that CHT is the one and is the guy. I mean, he played his role outstanding on the weekend. And I think like when you look at what CHT has done this season, like he's our top try scorer, I think, alongside Luke and Lecker and maybe Roger as well. But he was top 5 in try assists at one point as well.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
I think he was last time I checked. And then to score a double this weekend, like he's just providing such like all the goods.
Agreed.
Yep.
Does that say Chad Townsend has a green tick next to his name? Is he playing this weekend?
He is playing this weekend, yeah. Yeah, they
For who?
bypassed Sandon Smith. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, because I got Sandon super coach. But anyway. Yeah.
What happened to Sabala?
Injured 2 weeks.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so
Sorry to go off
tough
track.
one there. No, you're right, bro. No, you're right.
Daddy.
For me, overall, like when we look at these halves, I got to go with both our halves in general. I don't
we'll chuck
too
him
much
in
of
now.
discussion there. Jackson Hastings, not a 6 at all. I rate him as a 7. I think he's actually a very good 7. But everything else around his game, like obviously the the thing about Jackson Hastings is he always seems to put off playing groups. Whatever happens, I don't know, whatever happens there. But we're touching on that quickly. I want to touch on, I'm pretty sure his mother passed away last week or roundabouts or something like that. So shout out to Jackson Hastings playing through. Very similar to what happened with Munster and very similar to what happened with AFB. So shout out to all those guys losing, key members. AFB with his grandfather, it was like a father to him as well. So much love to all you guys out there and their families for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love to AFB. Actually, want to just sort of, I think at times when the AFB compassionate thing, myself probably took a bit too far at times. When I heard this news come out, I felt a little bit sad in myself to, we talk about our players sometimes on a personal level, and
same thing.
But nothing in derogatory. We don't mean. We actually idolize a lot of these guys and love them, and because he left, we were gutted. But to hear the news around that, we condolences to the whānau, every whānau that Munster's whānau, and especially AFB, his grandfather. Now we those realities makes me feel like, okay, yes, we get a lot of compassionate grounds. We understand that as Warriors fans, but let's not take each case as the same. And show respect where we can. And I've learned that for myself personally. So just wanted to get that out there. To show the love to the AFB.
I can't imagine how awful it would have been for him if he was still here and this was going on. Like, for one, as much as I was sad to see him go, like, you're also glad for him to be back with his family. And especially, you think about times like this, and the Warriors could have held and said, no, you can't go, but like, I think that's, again, like, our identity as a club isn't to stop players from doing what they need to do for them. And we recognize that we're 3 hours away from Sydney, whereas every other club is 1 or 2 hours away from Sydney at most. Exactly. And so feel so bad for him, and condolences to his family. And
no, absolutely, we share our love for AFB and his family, actually. But that's a good learning space thing and the content space as things are getting bigger, and discussion points like that help us to remind us. Let's go now to so we nailed on the halves there. We're going to go to the props. We've got Saifidi, Leo Thompson, Fisher, Harris, and Ford. Now, Saifidi and Thompson, no scrubs there. I think we all agree with Fish, definitely the first one in. But Jackson Ford, is he poking his head in saying, hey, guys, I want to be in the top 2 here? What do you guys make of that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, judging on anyone check out the Rugby League 26, player ratings, which are bound to be changed, but Jackson Ford is a top 5 front row in the league or something apparently right now, 91 overall. So shout out to Jacko, big one there. That's bound. Yeah, it's bound to be changed, but I thought that was a pretty funny one. I think it was one of our top players that we have, which, he's been incredible for us this year too. But when we have this chat, I think he's right up there with, I know Leo Thompson hasn't had his greatest year. I think Saifidi, I can kind of push to the side in this argument here. I think it's out of Leo Thompson and Jackson Ford for the second man spot. I sway the way of Leo just slightly, as in, we're talking about a Kiwi representative. We know on his day how good he is. But if we're going on form this year, I think Jackson has leaps and bounds, blown him out of the water in form due to, obviously, the limited game time. Also, Leo being in and out of the squad. But as an overall prop, I'd just sway the way of Leo. I reckon that pairing of him and Fish is a great pairing. But you're 100% right, bro. He should be poking his head in that conversation because he's been incredible for us this year.
Yep. You go Leo just on merit a little bit, Josh?
Yeah, definitely. I echo what Ash said there.
Yep. Let's go. I had my lock-in. Crossland versus Clark. I think we're all pretty much going Clark there.
Crossland,
yeah, boy.
Yeah, Crossland, yeah. How was I mean, I had Crossland in my super coach, and he's doing all right. I mean, how's he been going? I think he's decent. You know what I mean? Not great.
Another one of those players, bro, where plays hooker, plays 13, played half at one period this season.
The O'Brien special.
Yeah, I don't know where to put him. I've enjoyed his games out of hooker. I feel like he's a really expansive hooker at times. You know, he gets through. 13's a good role for him as well. He seems to be a player that can pop up a bit anywhere. But yeah, just one of those type of players that they can't settle on a role for him at the moment.
He'll be a good 14 for the Kiwis, I think.
He would be, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's where they're heading with the Kiwis for sure.
Mm.
Okay, let's go now to hooker. What have we got here? We got Brayley versus Egan. I think it's pretty simple, that one.
It's got to be our boy.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just quickly on Egan. Did you guys
Kiwi.
think that because... Yeah. Did you guys think that because of with Tanner, Egan's game was kind of simplified as well, and I think Tanner kind of directing the attack a little bit, maybe eased the pressure on him a bit. What do you say?
I thought Egan's game was really good on the weekend. I thought he was one of the unsung heroes out there too. We kind of brought up his tackle rate and all that out there, but I thought his service out of dummy half looked quick, slick. A lot of moments in that game. So not to say it wasn't like that during the whole year, which he has been, but there was moments in that game where I was like, oh, that's like Wado's putting some extra little sauce on that pass there. Like it looked beautiful. So yeah, shout out to Wado. I thought he had a great game at the weekend. One of our unsung heroes over the weekend.
Yep. Okay, let's keep it moving. In the back row, Brody Jones. Is Brody left-sided back row, I'm imagining? Oh, Kai Pierce-Ballsy on the right.
Going for Lucas, yeah.
Versus Leka Halasima. I think that's a simple one.
Leka.
Bro, Josh, on Leka's performance, I thought just a 80-minute professional performance. What do you rate of his game?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was you just see the leaps and bounds he's come this year. From the start of the year being our live wire and what we needed, but to now where he's putting in pretty much 80-minute performances of fantastic work. He scored 2 tries on the wing against the Tigers, which I think is a fun stat. But he's in the right place at the right time for a lot of things, and I think he's building a real good combination with CHT on the left there, which is why I think putting Capewell at centre now isn't an awful thing for us. It's a good thing. Something that's gonna drive us towards the finals if our right side centre can't stay healthy. And so I have no problems with Leka playing 80 minutes. There's zero issues there.
Yeah,
100%.
Yep, I agree with it. That charging run that he makes when he goes for the bomb, it's so cool. He just turns his head and then he kind of still keeps his body weight going forward. It's crazy. That's scary, man.
The turn of speed, bro. When he puts his toe down, when he goes, it's like, oh my god, he's shot out of a cannon. It's so cool. That Broncos game where I was watching, I got the sort of kick go up. I was looking at Leka and I was watching Leka the whole time. I went, he's getting this. There's no one stopping this guy, and he just sprinted onto that ball. I was like, oh, he's. You guys know my love for Leka. He has no.
I call it the try is the Mr. Miyagi on Stafford Tour. He went the wax off. Wax on.
Wax on.
he ragdolled him, eh? I was like,
he did.
Bloody hell, you're like one of those. I hate those guys. Those young pups coming through and they're outdoing the men on the website. Get lost now. But they're just killing it, man. He's absolutely killing it. Okay, guys, that's it's very blue, green, and red at the moment. That means we're gonna lose by 20 every time we do a Warriors solid. I always hate this, but nah, I'm feeling confident. But let's get to the bench around this off right now. Tyson Gamble, Matt Croker, Frizzell, Jermaine McEwen, Tamati Martin, Jacob Laban, Dimitri Vaimonga, Tannis Dowers Smith. Now, do we go with a utility bench, 3-man forward bench, or do we go with a 4-man forward bench? What are we doing? Shivers, I got one on the edge. My bad. Right, so excuse me.
That's right.
My apologies.
Just chuck in Ratsunier Kudir, bro.
It just and you caught it.
I think that's foreshadowing a sin bin to a right side.
Oh, yeah. Straight up.
Don't do that, Nick.
Are we going? I mean, KPP's pretty good. How's he been
very good
lately? Yeah.
Yeah, he's had moments. Again, like he's been very consistent for the Knights and stuff. You know, he's still very early on in his career in first grade, but very good player. I think Marata Niukore's form this year probably just pips him right now. But I think Kai Pittsburgh is going to be a great prospect for the future for sure. If he moves, there's a lot of rumor of him moving to the Tigers. So I'm very curious.
I thought that was confirmed. I think
it was confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll do well at the Tigers. Yeah. Well, I think so. Okay, we'll keep that. Yeah. We'll go now to the bench. So yeah, back to who we got here? So we're gonna go with the utility.
Yeah.
Are we going super sub to Mighty or over Gamble or?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go with the Mighty
super sub, baby. To Mighty.
Okay, what's our next one in terms of?
Dimitrik for sure.
Dimitrik's probably first off the cab, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep. Right there. He is.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with him, bro. I think he's cleaned. He's also cleaned his game up a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know if he's cleaned it up. Or do you just think he's just maturing as a player? I'd say.
He is.
Yeah. He's just developing. Ash about to fall asleep. He needs to have a nap.
What is it? 7:30?
Early starts, boys.
Early start. He's got to go to bed soon. We better shut this down.
No, we're doing good, mate. We're doing good.
And, yeah, I think he's been awesome. Okay, now let's go. What was the last two? I mean, you can't go past Frizzell. Has Frizzell been in form? And you got Sauer Smith and Laban.
Hasn't been his greatest year for Zell at the moment, but still like produces like, you know, big moments for an experienced member. So I'm thinking we're going to have to fit him in and we'll have to choose out of Tanner or Laban. So at the moment, Laban, would you reckon,
I like
Joshy?
Laban.
Yeah, I think so. I think he also, if we're looking at like a coaching sense as well, provides some point of difference to that bench as well. So
yeah, in respect to Frizzell, but probably on the back end of his career a little bit. But there you have it, guys. That is your team. That's probably the biggest scoreline I've seen recently. 14-3. But look, it's probably the most honest truth as far as we see it. And you're adding in all the factors without Ponga and all that. Yeah, but still, you look at the talent they've got. Marju, like if things go their way, they got the Marju can be a beast. This isn't like we're the dominant team. Dom Young on his day. Let's not kid ourselves. It's you know they got ability there, so we shouldn't take it lightly, especially away at Newcastle, which hasn't been a happy hunting ground the last 2 to 3 years. So
exactly.
But yeah, we should expect a lot. Okay, guys, that wraps up that segment. Thank you very much, everyone there. We're going to move now to score prediction. Start with you, Josh, man. What's your score prediction for this game? What are you thinking?
I'm deciding whether or not to go 40 or 50. I'll go 30. 36 points to 8. 10. 36 points to 10. Sorry.
Yep. Ash, for you?
Yeah, this one's as you said, McDonald Jones Stadium. I'm sure the Knights will try and find some sort of form. Like defensively, they have been very good this year, but I think that the form the boys are going to have to show and like what we can turn up, we just play our system, do what we did over the weekend, just replicate that. I think we can come out with a decent win here. I'm going to go at 26-12. I reckon something like that. I reckon possibly pushing it out to 30 as again. But But yeah, I'm thinking those sort of score lines. I think that it'll be a bit of a tussle. I think we may go halftime very similar to the Tigers game, where it's going to be like a 12-6, a 12-8, something like that, 16-8. And then we'll come home strong. So that's the way I'm thinking it's going to play out. I think that we just choke out the life of them, get a lot of kicks down to Dane Gagai, get him going for a lot of work. Dominic Young under the high ball, maybe a couple of errors. So I'm very, very excited to see what the boys can produce out there. I think the boys can come out with a decent victory here, 13+.
Yeah, I'm thinking even another 34-14 in my opinion. I think they'll probably get a few more points with a bit more structured attack. And then, with the kicking game with Tanner, I'm seeing we can really crush them in the second half. So I think around that range, maybe 30-16, 32-18 maybe. Maybe they get an extra try at the end of time. But definitely see us doing quite well there. Okay, guys, we're going to move on now. There was no draw, so no tickets given away. I think everyone's happy. There's no more people want to come to the event. We got our MC right here, man. You're going to hang out with him? But nah, it's all good. I think we've given away plenty tickets right now.
We've done well.
But we're happy. Yeah, we're happy to always support where we can. And yes, I love it. Okay, let's do now the Wahine beat the Eels. How good was that just to see a shutout at home? And the girls came out of the tunnel, old school Dean Bell style, with Uppy leading the way. Josh, you were there at the game. How was it to see the girls play, and what did you notice? Who are some of the people that you saw that you really liked from that game?
Yeah, I first of all, I thought everyone in the team played quite well. I thought, obviously, keeping a team to nil in your second game together is incredible. Yeah, especially when the team that you keep to nil beat the Sharks woman last week, who then went and put 50 on another team this week. That says something about what we're building and what we're doing. Michaela break was fantastic. She absolutely incredible. Every run she took was outstanding. I loved Patricia Maliepo as well. I thought she was outstanding. I liked the kicks that Curtin was putting up. There was a few
good variety,
good spiral bombs in there as well. I was, and bro, shout out to Uppy Nichols on that.
Oh, bro,
on that huge hit as well.
Oh,
far out, man.
That hit,
put on,
unreal.
Textbook, man. Textbook tackle. Loved it. Ash, what did you make of the girls? This was a Eels team that beat the Sharks, I think, first week.
Yep.
And
that Sharks team beat the Raiders 58-6. Yeah. So they dominated that Sharks.
Thou shalt not pass. In the words of Gandalf, they didn't get over the line. So. Bro, what did you make of the girls defensively? I thought they were absolutely. They had a period there under the pump where second half they were really at repeat sets. Has Ron got these girls playing at a high clip defensively?
Yeah, it just shows the high upside this side does have. Second game in NRLW, especially for a lot of these girls too, coming from rugby union and the girls produce something like this against a side that has Abby Church, that has Rachel Pearson. There's a well-known NRLW halfback, Elsie Elbert, Ruben Cherrington. The list goes on. That's a very good Eel side that we put to the sword there that didn't score on us. I was really, really impressed. All those girls Michaela, incredible. I thought both our centers were incredible as well. Shout out to Barky and Taisha. But also the one I really wanted to shout out, Shakita Baker.
Yeah,
bro.
I like her.
She is a freak, especially defensively. I'm loving her game at the moment. I think that she's the one that I'm just watching her movements and that, and I'm she is going to become a devastating edge back row in NRLW. So loving her work for sure. But yeah, I think across the just top to bottom, all these girls have produced for their second game NRLW for the New Zealand Warriors, it was incredible, and it was such a good game to watch. Kicking back on the misses and putting it on and be like, hey, these girls are killing it. Yeah, it was so cool, bro. Again, Michaela to do what she did and to be right up there next to Vani's record.
The
Is
16 line breaks. Yeah.
is crazy. Big shout out to those girls. That incredible. I love this organization, bro. We're doing such good things right now.
Yeah, man. Josh, what do you make of the first two tries were great, and then the attack they dropped a lot of ball on the goal line. They could have scored more actually. What is it? Do you think they're still ironing out their attack, or do they need to just work on the basics of handling? And I know the conditions weren't the greatest as well, but what do you make of the attacking side?
Yeah, I think they're still finding their attacking identity. I think they're finding those combos and working together. I think they're doing a little bit of what the boys did to start the season, where defense is our number one priority.
Yep.
And then we're finding the attack where we can. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You'll get drop balls. You'll get you get this. You'll get that. That's footy, right? But yeah, I don't know. They look like they'll start to click into gear over time. It's just those combos have got to come, and I think it'll be Curtin kind of directing the team around, and then Maliepor just finding all the space she somehow seems to find, and then I'd love to see more of Michaela coming in, and working off her wing and saying, yeah, I'm taking this hit up and I'm gonna break 9 tackles in this set, and then 12 tackles in the next set.
Beast.
She's an absolute beast. I think she's gonna grow even more, Michaela. Maliepor's the one I love.
She's a freak.
She's that 40-20 is bro, it was insane. Her kicking ability is but if you can dominate the kicking, bro, I swear,
NRLW,
even NRLW, one of the biggest weaknesses of it is if teams don't have halves or players that can kick the ball long. You're kicking it back to the 40 or their 50-meter line, and then they build that pressure. So if we've got a long kicking game that we can build off of, mate, watch out, because I know that will help a ton winning the tight games and those types of things. I really believe in her, Patricia. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why the Broncos did well for so long, right? Because of Ellie Brigginshaw and her kicking ability. You're exactly right. And
absolutely.
I don't know, that rugby background being, really, really coming in clutch for Maliepor. It makes a huge difference. And I don't know, I'm excited to see her development and how she kind of takes hold of the team in that sense as well with that kicking game.
Agreed.
Yep.
She's a freak.
But we're pumped for the girls. I looked at the lineup for the girls up against the Knights. They unchanged, so that's pretty much Ron's team right now. Heaps, yeah. We could talk more about them. I just wanted to maybe, Ash, if you looked at maybe the Knights girls, they got quality too. Southwell, and that'll be a great battle against Southwell and some of the other Clydesdales in there in the back row. Good battle for Shakira Baker, and I like to see how they handle those two. But yeah, what do you think of the Knights girls? Are they seem to find some wins quite comfortably in the last couple of weeks?
Very good side, bro. Very good side. I think any side that's got Jesse Southwell in it, you got Vetty Walsh out back, you got Gallagher and that. But you guys know, if you follow me or hear how much I talk, there's a young girl that I really really like. I reckon she's an incredible edge back rower in NRLW. That's Eva McEwen. You got Yasmin Clydesdale, the New South Wales representative, on the other side. But Eva, when she was in Fetu Samoa, she absolutely dominated out there on the world stage.
Oh, Eva, I remember her.
Yep. So we're going up against her this weekend. So it's going to be a great battle that they have, because Yasmin will be on the same side as Shikata. But on the other side, Atai has been doing a great job as well. And so I think that's going to be a really good battle of just hard defense and a hard running Eva McEwen. So I'm very excited for that matchup as well, bro. So this is going to be a really good game, a really good test, especially after the week that we had with the Eels. Just get it for our defense first, frustrate these girls of the Newcastle Knights, and just play high percentage footy. And we can maybe sneak another win here. I really do believe that if we play high percentage football with the kicking game, I reckon we can do it. But it's going to be, a tough one with Jesse Southwell on the other side.
Even the battle in Tiana Davison, Kiwi player.
Yeah.
That would be good. Shanice Parker against, I think it might be Paki or Ikanasio. That would be mean because I like Ikanasio and Paki. I think they're really good centers, man. Actually, the back row and center combos we got right now, I really rate them. So, look, there's some real good opportunity, like you say, for us to go and get a win here. But I think it's going to be a good game straight after the boys, actually. So we'll carry on on Sunday night to watch that one.
Stay tuned,
everyone. Absolutely. Okay, man. Everyone's calling for this one in the chat. The Jersey Flegg. Far out. That was a throwback, wasn't it? To the old. Remember, Josh and Ash, the old Wellington 24-10. I think it was 24-6. With 8 minutes to go against the Bulldogs, and we nearly won that game. Stacey Bloody kicked that. He hit the post, I think, in Wellington, but I was like, far out. They brought some memories back, bro. But gosh, man, what did you make of this comeback? It's absolutely insane within the time frame that it was. But you love a comeback. That's what the NRL is about. We love a comeback like that, bro. Absolutely
man.
Crazy.
I was at home watching it, and with about like maybe 15 minutes to go, I was like, man, like they look decent, but there's just something not clicking. And I turned it off, and I was fine, like whatever, like they lost, that sucks. And then I was like following along the score because I was just playing Xbox at the same time, and I was like, oh, they've scored. Maybe I'll go look at the try. And then as I was looking at the try, it like flicked back to like live, and the guy was getting sent for 10. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll see a couple of good tries. This will be good, And then just like riding them home was like one of the coolest feelings, man. And just that was insane. And it was, like that's again, like we've got some freaky players coming through. These kids that are just able to do, incredible stuff. And I'd like to see us sharpen up on defense next week, but but
you can always have
so
high scoring one every year. One of those games where everyone kind of just unleashes on attack. But Ash, who were some of the standouts for you, man, in this game that kind of led to that comeback and those things?
The big one, bro. But again, week in, week out, Brendan Norris, my God, kid is a freak. Like he, me and Warriorholic were talking about him earlier this season, and Warriorholic's like, have you heard much of this Brendan Norris? Like he's apparently comes from Brisbane, like all that sort of stuff. I was like, to be honest, not really. And like the first game we saw him, and we're like, oh, there's something there. There really is something there. Yeah, that Raiders game, I think he scored 3 back-to-back tries, just line breaks of him just stepping through and just breaking tackles. It's like he learnt that he could break all these tackles and Flegg. And I was like, oh, here we go. We've unlocked something here. And ever since then, bro, he's just boom, like week in, week out, scoring tries. He's a goal kicker now too. I thought he was absolutely incredible. Shout out to Talfa as well, a guy that a guy that I've had my inklings whether I like him at hooker or in that 13 sort of position where he comes back on sometimes. But he's really stepped up for us, especially when we had Jet Cleary in that jumping up to cup. I think he's been really good in a spine position there, playing hooker and playing in a really key role there for us. And the last one I want to touch on, you guys know how much I rate our fullback there, Joseph Ratcliffe, and that. But Jack Thompson, I think I've spoken about him a little bit before, but he was our Harold Matts winning halfback. Very, very talented halfback. I think he's put together 2 to 3 really good weeks now without Jet Cleary. And even next to Jet Cleary, they've had some really good combination there too. So keep an eye on him more and more in the future. But across like just the names that we have there on paper that are all producing great things at the moment in Flegg. I'm loving what we're doing in Flegg right now. To do what we did there the last 5 minutes, if that, to come back from what we did. I was very similar to Josh when I thought I saw it go 42-22, I think at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think the boys have got this. I went to do the washing and come back and I was like, I'll finish out this game later. Came back, it was like 1-score game. I was like, what has happened here? And had to rewatch it. It was a great comeback.
One for the ages, man, and I just love this for TJ. We talked about him coming in, and there were some changes that were made by the club, and TJ's put his hand up and said, "Yep, I'll take this on," and he's done really, really well. So happy for him, and the boys as well. I think there's a lot of talent in that team that's going to come through. We'll transition now to the Cup boys. Josh, you get a chance to see some of the Cup as well?
I was I unfortunately wasn't. I was in church, but
oh, good man.
Yeah, of course. I was church was just up the road, so
nice. You didn't do the church ones where they when they go to they're having the weddings, or the ones where they're at church and then they've got their phone and it looks like they're taking photos, but actually they're watching the footy.
Yes, right, that's Josh.
I do that on Friday nights when the Warriors are playing at youth. I'm just,
Oh yeah.
You guys go
I'm
play.
Studying. I'm just studying.
I ended up catching the highlights in the end, but to hold them down. I think 22. It was 22-0 for, and they scored 3 tries at the end. Something like that.
Three in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was all Yam as well, scoring those. So, former NRL talent, not really, much you can do. I see you got put into the New South Wales Cup Team of the Week, and being kept quiet for 70 minutes puts you in the Team of the Week, which is pretty cool. So,
good point.
Again, the boys being able to win without Tanner Boyd is huge. And it's again like we talked about, and like we have talked about systems in play, right? And that anyone can step up and do that job. And this is a big opportunity for Jet to show, that he's our future, or show that he has a future. And I'm excited for him to be able to step up and take this. And I mean, Luke Hansen is fantastic as well. Take nothing away from him, but I want to see those two grow in their combo as well.
Yeah, man. What did you make of that performance, Ash?
Look, incredible first half, bro. First half was just dominant, Sio Gali, Ali Leotoa for the short stint that he had out there. I thought that Jet Cleary was pulling all the right reins. And again, it really only came down to the sin bin of Bunty Ofola, and then I think they ran 3 tries in at the end of that. And it all came down the edge that Ali Leotoa get pulled off from. I think Geronimo Doyle ended up getting put in that position, or someone, I can't remember. Actually, I'll just double check. It was Morgan Harper, sorry, because we carried him on the bench. What can you do there? A guy that's interchanged out. If Ali stayed there for the full game, who would have known? Maybe those 3 tries wouldn't have gone in on Taylor May, who is an NRL talent. We all know it.
Yeah.
So incredible performance. They got a lot of great talent there in that Magpie system. One that's really big known at the moment that I'm watching currently is Makasini. Is a centre. He was a Wallabies kid as well. Very, very talented. Everyone knows Lau Lily and all that, the Lau Lily brothers. So they've got good talent in that side, but to see the boys, the young Warriors side with Sam Healy and all that, getting it done out there. Sio Kali, it's just great to see. He's a beast, bro. He's the more we get to see out of him. Again, I always just look at him and see he's lekker, but in an outside back's body. He really is.
Yeah. No, man. Thank you, guys. Oh, you got a thought there, Josh? Or
no, that was
no.
I think summed up.
No, beautiful. Okay, well, guys, that wraps up the show for tonight. Massive show. Ooh. Actually, just something real quick. I missed this. Injuries. Rocco Berry. Did we talk about this? I can't remember.
No,
maybe. Leotoa, does Leotoa come in for you guys? Really quickly? Do we need him right now, or do we just ride out with Capewell?
he could probably get through another 40 minutes in cup. Usually when we pull him for 40 minutes, maybe like we did it with Barry, where we played him for 40, pulled him off, and we put him back into first grade the week after. So that kind of gave me an inkling. Maybe we were going to chuck him back into first grade if we needed to there, because Rocco did go down. If Rocco didn't go down, I'd still say he'd be in cup. But there's a possibility. Like, he didn't look too bad in cup at all. Obviously scoring a try. I thought he was really, really solid defensively and all that out there. So, I think he'd definitely do a job and step up. We know what Ali can bring, but maybe another week in cup wouldn't do him too much harm at all, just to get his fitness under him. And, so when he takes that step, he's going to go back to doing what Ali does best.
Yep. Okay. Happy with that, Josh, as well?
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength. I think having Capes in there this week, especially going up against Bradman Best, would be huge.
Yep.
And I think the makeup of our grade squad at the moment, like the main team is like Liquor is in those big minutes as well.
Yep. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you guys mate. Shout out to Ash and Josh for a massive show. Thank you, man, especially Josh. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Thank you, Josh.
Where can people find you on Twitter still? King Hill?
Yeah, bro. Toning back some of the tweets. I'll still be on Twitter. I just I don't like tweeting during the Warriors games because I get too emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, King Hill on Twitter, or whatever, or MC at your local
MC, bro. I can't wait for the MC that we got right, man. We've got one of the best MCs, if not the best. So come along, guys, to the meet and greet. Everyone that is coming, and come hang out with us, bro. Appreciate it. And Ash, man, you got a show tomorrow night with Brody.
Yeah.
Have you held your Maroon sign up yet? To
be honest,
I won't. For tomorrow.
I won't do too much of that. I'm not usually the type to go all like crazy and up the Maroons and this and that. What? Usually, I allow it just to happen. Us as Maroon fans just sort of, let it all like kind of just happen, and it always just happens. So it happens. But no, he's very happy. His doggy's got the win over the weekend. So my actual boss, he's a Tigers fan. So to get the double on him, who's a Blues and a Tigers fan, was just absolutely amazing. So he's not having a great week. But Brody got through unscathed in a way. Wasn't the greatest performance against the Dogs, the Cowboys. But, so we'll talk about that tomorrow night, guys. I'll make sure of it for sure. Jump
on that, guys. Subscribe to Ash Thomas on YouTube and watch Down Under show with him and Brody. They cut it up and killing it in the Supercoach. Yep.
Also, just quickly too, guys, I do want to. So I'm going to Sydney this weekend. So I won't be able to make the watch along. I do apologise for that. But Thursday is my wife's birthday. So shout out to my beautiful wife. Happy birthday. Thank you. Don't worry, I won't get all soapy in that. But also, Rugby League Live, Rugby League 26 comes out on the Thursday, guys. I won't be able to do a live stream or anything unless I get time or whatever happens there. I'm pretty sure she's still working at night, which makes no sense. So if I get time, I will jump on and I'll try and do a day one stream. If not, guys, I will be in Sydney. So I'll try and get one up when I get back and when I find time, because I wanted to stream that game and talk to you guys about footy while I'm streaming Rugby League 26. Bro. Yeah,
Josh, is that up your alley as well?
Absolutely. I still play Rugby League Live 4 now, but
you guys have to teach me the ways. Learn the ways,
bro. Ash, it's brave of you, streaming on your wife's birthday. That's
it's a tough one, bro.
He knows what he needs to do to keep her happy. Yeah.
I was like, I legit turned to her, I was like, are you working tomorrow? She's like, yeah. I was like, why are you working on your birthday? And then in the back of my head, I was like, well, that frees up a little bit of time for Rugby League 26 late at night. So
you just make sure you finish your stream before she gets back and like do all your jobs that you need to do.
I'm going to take her out real nice. I got her a gift ready to come, so I'm very excited.
Good man. Good stuff. Okay, my guys. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Appreciate your comments. Just want to again shout out, man. Norpeter Thank you very much, man. We
Shout out.
appreciate you and the kindness here. And Strictly, we're very, very grateful for you always. And Tans, we're going to have a little chat with you. So be ready for me to message you, okay? We've got something in mind if you're still
Yeah,
there.
that's cool.
But we'll catch up with you. Appreciate everyone. We'll catch you on Sunday for the watch along. Who knows if my wife lets me, I might carry on with the women's. Nah, but then it might be too late by then. But we'll do 4 hour. What do you reckon? No, we won't push it too much, bro. But we'll watch what we can and be allowed to do. But yeah, thanks again for a massive show, everyone. We'll catch you guys later. Up the hours as always.
Up the
Peace
waz.
out. See ya.